Ah, shit. This episode of the BRG podcast has been brought to you by our patrons. Here at BRG, we'd like to thank those patrons who have subscribed and donated. It is because of generosity like yours that makes this show possible.
On this episode of the podcast, we have the Weirdist joining us to go over this week's interesting news, sad news, and Equifax news. And we get to talk in depth about the actions of YouTube and Nintendo and how it affects gamers and their Let's Plays. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the BRG podcast, and tonight I am super fucking excited. First of all, because I love doing this shit, so, you know, kudos to me for that. Second of all, we got a lot of stuff coming down the pipe for news. We also did a town hall for BRG, a lot of stuff going on with that. But more importantly, because we have the Weirdist tonight.
Hey, dudes.
Hey, hi, Weirdist.
And so if you guys don't know who he is, then shame on you, first of all, because come on now. But we will talk a little more in depth about his shenanigans later. But have you ever heard the story about the guy who did Fallout in crazy ways? This is the guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, in wrap up, we'll tell you a little more about the game. Give him his 5 minutes of fame. We'll talk a little more about that. But tonight, per the usual, us covering gaming news and other news, there is a plethora of gaming news, as well as some tech news, some sad news of people passing, and round 3 of Equifax news, because goddamn, I love it. So we're going to go ahead and dive right into it. Okay, this is going to be an interesting night, I can tell you right now. So guys, let's go ahead and get into the speed bits. And to start us off, we're going to talk about PlayStation's boss sees limited potential for handheld games. To put it very simply, Sony Corp game chief Andrew House sees limited global potential for handhelds. Focus still remains on game entertainment for the living room. Sony sees a big potential for games also in smartphones. So basically, they're saying, yeah, the Switch, that's an anomaly.
I don't know.
I mean, he's part of a big corporation. I'm not saying he's dumb, but
Always wanted one. But
okay.
Anyway. How much will Atari's new console cost you? This is reported by Fortune. The Atari
$1 billion? No.
The Atari handheld. Got handhelds on my mind. The Atari will be new Atari box will be powered by an AMD custom processor with Radeon graphics and will utilize the Linux operating system. They're saying the device will be anywhere between $249 and $299. I believe that is US, if I'm not mistaken, depending on the hardware configuration you go after. So, cool.
And the fact that it's Linux based means it could potentially run a lot of games. Some of the games that won't be running, however, is a whole bunch of games that Valve has deemed fake games and removed from their list. As a matter of fact, they've removed a grand 200 titles, and that's over actually like one company. So Valve again taking a closer look at the 200 games. They're taking close to 200 games off the market, all of which were deployed by a single company known as Silicon Echo Studios or some variant of that. The studio mostly used like pre-made Unity stuff, so demo and whatnot, and likely is just churning them out to basically generate those game cards so that they can sell them. And Valve doesn't really like that, so it's about fucking time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, sometimes people remove the games, and sometimes the games remove the people. Overwatch has been working on a fix for mysterious auto bans from their servers. They've identified a bug that's apparently nailed a little bit under 200 accounts. But the game director, Jeff Kaplan, says that he's identified the bug, and in extremely rare cases, it can cause players to lose their skill rating progress and receive a seasonal ban without any prior penalties or leaving early or being kicked for inactivity. So they're working on that, and hopefully they figure it out.
Good hoping.
This one's pretty cool. Red Dead Redemption's second trailer has come out, and the trailers basically confirmed that the game will be a prequel. Rockstar ended up pushing the game back to spring of 2018 or 2018. It was supposed to be out this fall. I'm still holding my breath for it to come out on the Switch, but in this trailer, they confirmed that John Marston's story, he's the protagonist in the first Red Dead Redemption, is a prequel. And one of the other cool things is a lot of people apparently were requesting the ability to use bow and arrows, and there is a scene in this trailer where Marston is using a bow and arrow, which is pretty awesome in my books.
Not bad.
Yeah, man. Then there's also some news from Ars Technica here that Altus, the makers of Persona 5, wants to take down a PS3 emulator because it demos showing that it plays Persona 5. They've used DMCA to try to take down this PC-based PlayStation 3 emulator. The quote from Altus is, though Altus reportedly acknowledged that the PS3 emulator itself is not infringing on our copyrights and trademarks, the publisher argued that no version of the P5 game should be playable on this platform, and the RPCS3 developers are infringing on our IP by making such games playable. I don't know, Kirok, I don't know if you ever played around with Persona 5 in Twitch, but they're pretty serious about Persona 5. They didn't let anybody stream it for months and months.
Yeah, and the question I have is, I have the game, I have it right here, and I want to stream it now. Do you think they're still that serious?
No. They've dropped it. They were worried that Twitch streamers were going to spoil the game for people who hadn't played it.
If you don't want spoiled, don't watch! It's that simple! Fuck me!
I don't understand it either.
And you can't fucking bitch because somebody made a platform your game. They still have to buy the fucking game. Jeez. They don't get it. They just don't get it. People who do get it, however, is Fortnite's Battle Royale spinoff, which has racked up 8 million players, which is pretty freaking awesome. So it looks like they've definitely hit their foray on this. So Epic Games announced that more than 1 million players took part on release day. First day. Cool. Bluehole did a press release where they roasted Epic Games for copying PUBG. You know, this is not...
Every time that they bring attention to Fortnite, they're shooting themselves in the foot. Every single time.
And
I don't know if they know it, but...
The problem is this is making Bluehole look like an asshole.
Absolutely.
I love you,
Oh my god. So, you guys might remember this, but there's that video game voice actor strike.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was over!
Finally coming down to an end. It's almost... They reached a deal, almost a year-end long strike. This is reported by Engadget. It's SAG-AFTRA has reached a tentative agreement with the leading video game publishers to end the strike. The strike has been carrying on for exactly 340 days, as according to the article. And the deal, which hasn't been completely approved yet, includes bonus pay based on the amount of sessions a performer works on a game. So starting at $75 for the first session and up to $2,100 for up to 10 sessions. There are other things that they've agreed on, but that's one of the things that I thought looked pretty cool, and I threw it in there. But it's not fully realized, but it's getting there. They're almost done completely. Finally.
I've heard that
Thank
before.
God.
Hey guys, we're going to switch gears here and switch from gaming news to a little tech news. So, in case you haven't heard, Twitter it just doubled their character limit, 280. Now, Twitter said that it started testing the 280 character tweet, noting that our research shows that the characters limit is a major cause of frustration for people. I can agree with this. For as little as I use Twitter, it pisses me off on a regular occasion. Now, Twitter hopes to ease that burden by doubling character limits in what it calls language-impacted cramming. That basically be for languages like English and other languages. Oftentimes we have to concatenate, use the @ sign instead of at or numbers, etc. Whereas other more shorter format languages like Japanese, Korean, and Chinese, they don't really hardly ever hit this limit comparatively. So this is in pilot. Select people can do it, and we'll see how people feel about it.
I'll tell you how I feel about it. My Twitter feed sucks now. Because everybody is posting line by line to show how many letters they can put in their tweet. But, you know, if you don't have enough room on your monitor to look at all those gigantic tweets, you can now apparently use Opera to push your videos straight to a VR headset So you could just make a little video of all your Twitter feed and put it up there or something. I don't know. But
You're excited.
at any rate, you can now apparently push your videos straight to your HTC Vive, your Oculus Rift, your OSVR HD K2, or other OpenVR headsets. So for you porn enthusiasts out there, you're good to go. You're good to
I'll
go.
be back.
Excellent.
5 minutes.
$800 and you'll be good to go.
So, in media news, speaking of VR, and this is at the movie theaters, right? AMC Theaters backs virtual reality with $20 million investment, reported by Bloomberg. AMC Entertainment Holdings is the biggest cinema chain in the U.S. They were in Canada, but I've seen them pop back out. I don't see them anymore. They are investing at least $20 million in virtual reality arcades and productions as growth stagnates for traditional movie-going. So this is pretty cool. You're going to go out to the movies. Just before you catch your movie, you're going to be able to play some VR games on the spot, which is neat. AMC will be committing $10 million to virtual reality entertainment company Dreamscape Immersive. Another $10 million will be invested in a content fund, and the chain will then finance the rollout of 6 VR centers in North America and the UK over the next year and a half. Pretty neat.
Yeah, that's.
They're
I'm
kind
eager,
of
but well,
shortlisting it.
You know, I've played some like pretty intense VR stuff, and I would wonder if they have to cover more insurance for the fact that people might be like getting up and running around with like, you know what I mean? Like maybe that, I don't know.
Or putting holes in their green screens like Kirok.
Thanks. You know, I hit my hand too, and now my thumb tingles all the time I touch here. Right, that spot right there. It's crazy.
Well, part of the reason nobody goes to the movies anymore is because they blow all of their budgets on giant TV shows like the Star Trek Discovery that just came out. I don't know if you guys have checked that out. If you have,
waiting.
I haven't yet.
I'm waiting until I finish Enterprise.
You might want to put it off because they only have it on their proprietary CBS streaming service, which nobody wants. And so, from Ars Technica, almost 10 million people tuned in to watch it on CBS, but many have turned to the interwebs to get their Star Trek fix. It's believed that the show is the 12th most actively pirated show among users on Pirate Bay. I haven't seen it. Have you seen it?
I haven't either. No, I haven't watched it yet.
Solar movies for the win, man. Pirate Stream. Yeah. All right, guys. In other news categories, I have a sad day, or sad thing to announce. Hugh Hefner, the icon of Playboy, has passed away at 91. Now, Hugh Hefner started his empire out of his Chicago apartment in 1953 for $8,000. Since then, the Playboy Bunny became one of the most notable icons. At its peak in 1975, it circulation climbed to 5.6 million. Wow. So it was a huge empire. Hugh Hefner died September 27th at the age of 91 of natural causes in his home. I made a comment to my wife about how he might have died, and her comment was, well, they usually go stiff then, right?
That poor guy was both an icon of being classy and an icon of being tacky at the same time.
He pulled off classy tack like nobody's business.
Seriously, I guess he had his beautiful bedroom with a gold-plated bed and like shag carpet, and he would just let his dog shit on the carpet. Like,
so instead of shag carpet, you've got shit carpet.
Yeah.
Oh, God. All right, guys.
Fine.
So one last thing before we bail on this. Equifax Speed Round. So first of all, Equifax offers a free program to lock and unlock your credit files for life. I can't stress this enough. Please go do this. It's free through Equifax, and this is as much as a pain to do it. It's worth it if you have issues. So I encourage this. So that's great to know. On top of all of that, San Francisco, the city of San Francisco, is going to be setting their legal sites on Equifax. Basically, the San Francisco City Attorney Dennis Hara is suing Equifax on Tuesday, accusing the credit reporting giant of putting more than 15 million Californians at risk of identity theft by failing to adequately safeguard their personal information, which is true in every fucking way possible. So San Francisco actually joins a bevy of other private and actually public suits that are going after Equifax for this large debacle. And last but not least, in addition to the COO and the CSO leaving to, retiring to spend more time with their family, the CEO has also stepped down. And he walks away with an $18 million parachute that includes basically a parting gift and retirement plan and whatnot. So, yeah, I don't think he's hurting too terribly much.
Wow.
So that's going to wrap up our speed bits on a sad note, sadly. And we will be right back.
Okay, guys.
Welcome back to another Game Releases with me, Kirok, for Bottle Rocket Gaming. I was away last week. Sorry about that. Let's get into this one. And your first game, guys, is on October 3rd. It is Battle Chase's Night War. It's out for PC, PS4, and Switch. It is an RPG with a tech-infused fantasy world. Actually, this game is pretty awesome. It is an RPG that harks back to the good old days, but it's got that JRPG with a new stylish look. It's highly polished, and the graphics are on par with games like Bastion, and it actually reminds me a lot, the gameplay reminds me a lot of Bravely Default without the defaults. Judging by the feel and look of this game, this title is going to do really well. I expect it'll be amazing on the Switch. Also on October 3rd, you have Forza 7. This is coming out for PC and Xbox One. It is a racing game. This is a beautiful racer. It is the 7th iteration in the Motorsport series, and they're boasting and making a big deal out of the fact that it's going to be full 4K at 60 frames a second. This is just in time for the Xbox One X month away release right now. Guys, you'll be able to race in 30 different famous locations within dynamic environments and Ferraris and Porsches and Lamborghinis to your heart's content. And on October 3rd, we have Batman, The Enemy Within. This is episode number 2. It's out for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. It is another Telltale game. It's a superhero point-and-click, choose-your-own-adventure type game. And you guys know where I stand with the Telltale games. I don't really like to play them much. I really love to watch people play them. So if there's a streamer out there who's getting this game and is going to stream it out on Twitch, let me know so I can watch it. Out of all the Telltale games that I've seen, The Walking Dead, Guardians of the Galaxy, this one looks fucking fantastic. And your last game is on October 4th. It is Empire Lords of the Sea Gates. Empire spelled with a Y. It's only for PC, and it is a role-playing game. The setting is New York City circa 1899. All of the coastal cities have flooded, so New York is turned into a Venice of New York. Basically, you have to survive. It is kind of like a three-quarter view tactical game where you fight and you plan ahead with all these bunch of moves and then hit execute and it executes it. It's a pretty cool game. The gameplay intrigues me, but the graphics leave a lot to be desired. Alright guys, that's the end of another Game Releases. Hey man, I'm really sorry about missing last week's, but sometimes you just gotta get them rocks out of your kidneys.
Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and dive into the main topic, or the meaty bites tonight. Now, we have two main articles I want to talk about, and they're kind of related to each other. It has to do with income from YouTube on two different fronts. So the first and big piece of news is that YouTube is cracking down on external links in their videos. Now, to give you the quick rundown, we'll kind of dive into a little deeper here. So YouTube has sent some creators into a panic when it blocked their ability to link to external sites through their end cards. So this is at the end of the YouTube video. You'll see like here's my Patreon, here's subscribe, here's some other videos to watch, those kind of things. They've limited that so that you're no longer allowed to put external links like Patreon, for example, onto it.
Right.
Now, again, I'll dive into the controversy of this in a minute here, but to give you the bullet points, the change is supposed to curb abuse by encouraging channel owners to partner with the site so that they can evaluate the validity of the channel and determine whether the videos are appropriate. Basically, the videos are appropriate and okay, or so says the Google spokesperson. I already want to dive into that so deep, but to be fair, Google says it rolled out the updates because its automated system detected that some of these links screens were being used in ways that it considered harmful to users. They didn't give any details of how. They just said, yeah, it's harmful to users, which seems kind of generic to me, but whatevs. This only affects people that are not a part of the YouTube partner program, which, you know, for the moment, it does not affect links in the drop down or in the show notes below.
Section,
so you still can put links there. Now, the small unspoken issue with this is that you cannot even think about joining the YouTube club until you have at least 10,000 views in total on your channel. As a point of reference, I've been doing the podcast for just shy of 2 years now, as well as having other various content on the BRG channel, and we haven't even hit 5,000 views. So basically, I get jack and squat out of it for, on average, another 2 years, 4 years before I'm lucky enough to be able to be privileged enough to join this partner program. So that's kind of the skinny of it. Now, of course, this has gotten people really hyped up and kind of pissed off because this kind of trolls small channels and giving them no real easy way to making money off doing YouTube content. I say this because this is coupled with recent events with YouTube starting to hack and slash accounts left and right for monetary gain, saying that they're something in their content is not advertiser friendly. So
I've gotten that.
Yeah, me too.
And so okay, so to that point, this is what I want to start off with because this affects all YouTube channels, but it seems like gaming has really gotten nailed hard because for some strange, weird reason, apparently games, if there's anything that could be considered non-PC, non-G rated, it's getting flagged, which I personally think is silly because there's plenty of content and games out there that we like. We're adults, and I don't mind seeing a hooker get shot in GTA. Nothing personal, but it's a game. Right?
Yeah.
Now,
those are imaginary people. They're not real.
Exactly. It should be okay. But yeah, so first thing I want to do is Kirrok, because you say you've gotten some of your content flagged, and I'm trying really hard. You're like one of the more polite Canadians out there. Most of the games you play aren't that bad. So what happened?
So, okay, here's the interesting thing. I actually pointed it out on one of our previous episodes. It's one of my videos for virtual reality, hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. Mm-hmm. And I had scheduled it. It hadn't even gone live yet. And the little monetization icon, that's the little green circle with the dollar sign in it, was yellow. And next to it, it would say that something about a claim. It's in one of our videos. You can go back a few episodes and check it out. And basically it said that I could put through for a review or ask someone to review it. But it said that you needed at least 1,000 views on the video to be able to be considered for a review.
Yep.
And so I'm only at like 30 to 40, and so I'm like, well, that'll never happen. So I left it. I look back now. I'm actually literally looking back now, and I don't see that anymore. So I think it got switched back.
Interesting.
Which is kind of weird. Yeah. But it happens. And all that game has are guns, realistic guns, virtual reality, but there's no violence in the game.
It's all target shooting.
Right. Exactly.
So to point, that's one side of it, and this is where things get kind of sticky wicked. That's a side note. That's that issue with monetization in that regard. But the little nugget that you noted there was you have to have at least 1,000 views to even get a review. So you get auto flagged, and basically too bad.
So for a smaller channel that has less views overall, until you gain in popularity and grow, there's no chance that if your video gets flagged for it to even be reviewed by a live human being.
It's got to be bigger. So
right.
And that's an issue that Google's had for a while now with especially with YouTube, is they're very vague. And in the conversation here is these bullet points. They want to curb abuse. What abuse? So looking at end cards, Weirdist, help me out here. What can you possibly conceive of that people are going to put in end cards that's going to somehow be abusive or gaming the system or hazardous to my health as a viewer?
Well, if I'm going to be okay, let's just put myself in the shoes of somebody who wants to cause harm by using YouTube, right? Mm-hmm. So if I'm going to do that, one of the things that I suppose I could do is I could make a video pretending to be, I don't know, pretending to be PewDiePie, only I say poo, P-O-O, ha ha ha, right? Whatever. And people go, maybe they've heard of it and they Google the wrong name and they go into the thing and they click the end card and it goes to a phishing site. Well,
Sure.
maybe. And I don't know, maybe that's the thing that's happening, but they keep it in-house so they don't talk to anybody about it.
Right.
So what we see is, hey, if you've not gotten enough views, then first of all, we're not going to do anything for you because we can't do, that's the smallest base of people, or the largest base of people. We don't have enough room. Maybe you should just work on your content or whatever, but there's not enough, there's tons of videos going up online all the damn time. And there's not enough people in the world to view them all. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's kind of a zero-sum game, and that's kind of bullshit. So one thing that people could do is they could partner with somebody that's a smaller business or local, and in order to do that, they have to configure their AdSense account with those advertisements, and now they can't use those advertisements in their videos to continue to fund their gaming online. So it's a double-edged sword, and it fucks the lower base, and I'm not cool with it. But I don't know. Maybe that's what happens. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And that is a valid point. Now, to that end, again, there are literally days of content uploaded to YouTube in a matter of hours.
Yeah.
Every single hour, 24 hours a day. So Weirdest is correct in that there's no way YouTube can realistically human review everything, every link, every video, etc., etc., etc. So they do have to find plausible, logical ways to get around this, so to speak. So I can almost understand their claim for that, but I gotta be honest with you, one thing that I find a little bit shady is the fact that it's not just the fact you have to have X amount of views total to be able to have the ability back to do linking. You have to have that many views in total on your account and join their partner program.
Right.
Right.
So
And yeah, I mean that's they wanted to be their field, their ball, their bat, their rules, and that's always a bummer because without their creators, they don't have anything. And the people who are big on YouTube are so big on YouTube now that they go on Ellen and they get book deals and shit like that, and they don't give a fuck about their YouTube income at all, anyways. Or if they do, it's from an outside source that's giving them ad revenue because, Hannah Hart on My Drunk Kitchen drinks this kind of wine or whatever the fuck it is. So it's really actually kind of a lazy way to handle it because all it uses is your view numbers and they don't apply it to anything else. Meanwhile, they have an algorithm that searches through your whole channel to see if it can hear copyrighted music in the background.
Yep.
And if you're a spammer or a fisher, you're going to use the same video over and over and over again. They could just compare the videos and say, hey, does this channel have the same exact shit on it all the time? Is it just clickbait to try to fish people's income out of their pockets?
Yep.
And that could be. So they really ought to approach it from a, hey, we're fucking Google technical standpoint, rather than just say, here's my view count. How's this doing, Dad? And then they say, well, we have a pretty arbitrary limit, so go eat a bag of shit.
yeah, and this is the thing that really kind of kills me is that it is a lazy way to do it, but it's also theoretically kind of the convenient way for them because again, it pushes them into this group, but also it's a matter of there's a whole bunch of missing things here that haven't been said, and this is what really starts to bother me a lot is what happens when you do hit that marker, you do become part of the partner program. There's no verbiage, language, or anything in here that says definitively, why, yes, we'll absolutely let you have X links back, to your online store to buy a mug with my face on it, or to my Patreon account. And my bigger worry is that we're going to get to a point where we're going to say, you know what? Fuck you. We can't
don't allow
do
Patreon.
Patreon, period.
Yeah.
You can't have any kind of tip jar type service linked or noted anywhere in the video or we'll strike it. Because it's easy for them to just say, anytime I see the word Patreon, we're flagging it, you're done, that's it. And that's the end of it. And they can change the rules at any time. So this could be something that comes down the pipe later. It just... My bigger worry about this feels like not just like, this thing itself is kind of a big deal, but that's not even my focus. The focus is I've seen the gradual steps that YouTube's been doing lately, And that's what's worrying me, because they're slowly and surely kind of evolving into something else that really kind of jacks anybody who wants to do something. I mean, for the people who would just want to randomly have some place to put up that funny video of their dog skateboarding or their dad falling off a ladder, they're not going to care. And that is a large majority of YouTube, to be fair. But for people who legitimately want to try to make a go of a career, it can be very daunting, because for all these different rules they've laid out now, you're basically working for nothing for years before you have the ability to make actual content you get paid for through YouTube directly. So this is why we have Patreon. This is why we have outsized tip jars or other sources to monetize. And now it feels like Google's starting to close the doors on those.
This is kind of what I see when I hear this, that they're not allowing outside links. Adpocalypse, everyone knows about that. So all of a sudden they're flagging videos that are not appropriate for advertising or advertisements to be placed on it. So some people who make maybe questionable videos and have done that successfully in the past, there's I don't know if you guys know him, Boogie 298. 2988 or something. I've watched a bunch of videos of his, and he does one where he does a character called Francis. Who's just over the top, very, very vulgar, very, very energetic, and
this is the guy. This is the guy that flips over the magic card table, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I think that is the guy. Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, I remember that. So he's looking at it going, and he's talked about this on his video, going, now I'm worried that I can't even make those videos because they won't see that I can place advertisements on it. I haven't really followed him the last little bit, but now that you can't link external links, if he had a Patreon, he can't even rely on that anymore. But then again, he does have 2 million viewers and so on. But you get where I'm going, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it seems like it's just applied to their end cards. I don't know about you guys, but when I put my stuff in, I just put it in the comments.
In the actual description, yeah.
Yeah, in the description. And that's sort of, I mean, it's hidden before you click it, basically.
Yeah.
And I used to even say in my video, hey, all my information is in my comments. And now I don't do that, or in my description, I mean. And now I don't do that because it seems like it breaks the flow of the video.
Yep.
Right.
But yeah, it's not good for content creators at all.
Yeah. No, and things are changing up so much that I'm worried that they'll end up hacking links out of the show notes below
description as well. Yeah.
And this is bothersome, because this is all just about YouTube right now. But even more so, people are getting fired at from different directions. To bring up the other article we have tonight has to do with Nintendo. And Nintendo, this is kind of bothersome, because Nintendo Creator Program, because everybody has to have a creators program now, which was launched in 2015, allows YouTubers to receive a portion of the advertising proceeds for any video content that Nintendo copyrighted content in it. So if you guys didn't know, anytime you see somebody that does a Let's Play of Mario or Zelda or anything like that's Nintendo copyrighted content, they're not going to get dick all for money out of it, because Nintendo will flag their content immediately. If you guys remember, been with us for a while, some time ago, we played a video, or in our podcast, there was a literally a picture you see on the screen right now, that picture of Mario. It was a video smaller than that in the browser in this big window here that happened to have a little bit of video of Zelda. No audio, just video of Zelda playing in a loop. And we got flagged for that. And to be fair, we're a newscast. We have legitimate right under law to actually show this content, because we're a news podcast. We talk about it. But I'm not going to fight with them about it. So anyways, people who become part of the creators program will get a portion of that back. But new guidelines released by Nintendo now say that members of the creators program may not live stream on their channel through YouTube. Now, this is interesting, because they're saying very specifically in this release, this is a creators program that people are part of for YouTube, and usually it's uploading content. But YouTube does have a live stream version of it.
Yes.
And Nintendo's now rolled this in, and it isn't saying, hey, you get a portion of the proceeds. They're flat out saying, you don't get it. You don't get it at all. You cannot do it. There is to be no live streaming of the game.
Every Nintendo
This
game.
makes no fucking sense to me whatsoever.
So you can actually post their video on your channel, but if you choose to stream their game content, they
can't.
won't allow it.
Yeah,
Wow.
you absolutely can't.
Right.
So,
So to sum up, they've got a Nintendo's Creators Program that specifically targets and destroys Nintendo creators.
yes,
Right.
exactly.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah,
That's exactly
sounds
what
like.
it is. But here's the other funny little factoid about this is, again, this is all about YouTube and YouTube live streaming. Legitimately, there's no content noted in here about, say, doing Mario Kart on Twitch or on Beam or whatever. Sorry, not Beam, Mixer. So I'm not really sure where the hell they're going with this. I find it funny because Weirdest, you made a note earlier between the takes, so to speak, about how there's a firm belief in that, like for example with Bethesda, they're very loose with their outline of what they're allowed to do, and
Right.
that's tied to the fact that get the game out there in people's eyes and make them want to play it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that that's especially true of games that are like, they're sort of maybe obscure titles, like a Baldur's Gate style game or something like that. And I think that's what's happened is Nintendo has become so disassociated from that they believe that their Mario games, they don't even need to advertise themselves. They just exist, and once they're out there, they print money. But Nintendo has proven with their classic systems that they keep releasing that they don't care about printing money because they could make 100 million of those and every single one of them would sell.
Yep.
Yes.
Instead, they do a live release at 2 a.m. and they're sold out when all the people wake up. Like I don't understand. Is it because of art or is it because it doesn't make any sense at all?
I would put Nintendo kind of in second place for being absolutely anal and protective of their content, right under Disney, to be honest with you. And I think they're going a bit overboard here. Of course, I'm looking at it from a biased view, but it really the end result of this that kills me is here you have a situation where, again, especially for we look at the subsect of YouTube that is gaming and let's play people specifically among other people. You're getting whammied 6 weeks from Sunday by YouTube, now by Nintendo, in so many ways. I mean, I'm a little bit stymied by this because it's getting to the point where you just like, flip the table over and say, fuck it,
Yeah, I mean,
it's frustrating.
If what they're concerned about is that somebody's gonna like put on a clan robe and play like Mario versus Rabbids or something, then YouTube is just gonna get like the users will police themselves. They'll flag the video as inappropriate.
Yep.
YouTube will take it down after a review, and that'll be it for that channel probably.
Yeah, but we all know that nothing goes away on the internet anymore.
Right, but I mean, what significance does that have to suggest that Nintendo is somehow associated with the clan? It doesn't have any.
I agree.
I'm trying to think of a way in which you could make a video, and you're already part of the Nintendo's Creators Program, and you do something that is offensive to them.
To them, yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean,
I don't know, but
PewDiePie to do something.
just as a little aside to that, one end round to this that is technically legitimate is you can start a second channel and stream Nintendo on that second channel, and then take your content that you've streamed and post it to your main channel, I guess. I don't know. It's really weird. I don't understand where Nintendo is going with this. It makes less sense than YouTube's new creator outline BS. And again, I'm really worried about the depth of this. I want to close out with you guys and get your opinions. I guess, if you're a partner, I guess you're dandy in most cases.
Yeah.
But if you're a smaller channel, then this is something that's more of a hit to you in this sense. It's going to be a lot more to work with. And it makes it a lot hard for people to have a passion, I feel like, to work with. But I want to get your guys' feeling on it. I mean, are we seeing the death knell of Let's Players and gamers online?
Well, when I look at it, it does certainly feel that way. Like, for example, all the different, and now I'm not talking specifically about Nintendo. I'm talking about all the decisions that YouTube has made in the past. It appears like each time they're doing something, it's like against Let's Players or content creators for specifically gaming. This one with the Nintendo, personally, myself, it doesn't really affect me. I'm not part of their creators program. But I'm sure those that are out there that are, they don't really have to worry about it too much because they're already in. They just forego the streaming part of it. I've had a few times where, because I have a Switch, I've had a few times where I've been playing Breath of the Wild and thinking, I really want to stream this and share it. And then I go, oh, that's right, it's Nintendo. And now I want to hook up my Switch to my capture card and stream games, but I have to pick my games and be careful. I'm not picking a Nintendo game, which so far I have a couple that I want to play that aren't Nintendo. So to answer your question, I would say yes, it definitely feels that way. And then you look at something like Twitch for live streaming. It looks like it's capitalizing on this and constantly going up a step. And they're like, yeah, just keep doing it. We'll take the other part of it. So it's almost like it's a shift, a paradigm shift in the way gaming and content creators or that game will end up sharing their product, their passion. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. No, Weirdest, I know you're more Twitch based than YouTube in a sense, but I want to get your closing thought on this.
Well, when I started out on YouTube. And actually, the playthrough that I'm best known for, I actually streamed the last episode on the brand new YouTube Red streaming service, which, as far as it went, and I don't know how it is now, but as far as it went, was very lackluster compared to using just Twitch. And it almost feels intentional, like YouTube is trying to offload the gaming to Twitch, because Twitch is making, gains, and YouTube is basically screwing everyone who does games.
Yep.
So I don't know whether or not what they really are tired of is people who just upload, 100-hour playthroughs of games and it just sits on their servers forever, and they want to try to shift them somewhat to live or something like that. As far as it goes, it seems like they've basically made every wrong decision for the gaming community. Every wrong decision. I
absolutely agree with you, and that's I don't know how big a slice gaming is on YouTube. YouTube is so vast that anything, it seems like it's going to be a narrow swath, but it is what it is, and we do have certain people, including, I might add, one of the biggest people on YouTube being a gaming person, being that dumbass PewDiePie. But here we are, and here it is, so we'll see how it goes. Hey, listen, I do, as always, guys, I want to get your thoughts on this, so please leave a comment down below. Let us know how you feel about this, and let us know where you sit on this, because it's great to have an opinion, but it's nice to know where it comes from. Are you a gamer? Are you just a viewer? How do you think this is going to affect you? Because I'm worried that all these decisions we're making are pointing straight towards annihilating gaming on YouTube, and that would mean us too, technically, because we are. So definitely let us know, and hopefully we'll have some good feedback on this. Anyways, guys, we're going to go ahead and get rolling on to rolling out. We'll be right back. Alright, guys, sadly it's time to go ahead and bring to a close another wonderful podcast. It's inevitability. We can't do this 24/7, so I'm not Justin TV, for crying out loud. Half people, what? Anyways, guys, I want to say a big, super big thank you for the Weirdest. You're a big man on campus coming to a little shit show like this, so I appreciate you gracing us with your presence.
I am honored to be here. This is a great podcast.
So
honored.
You said you watched episodes of our podcast, and yet you still think you're honored being here? I think you're lying, because nobody's going to watch these shows and go, wow, I'm honored to be here. Wow, really? Are you high?
Fuck you, Jester, all right? Jesus.
Anyways.
It's great. No, it's great, champ. It's good. We
enjoy it.
So you're the guy.
Hey, well, now you have a way to keep up with you. So it's on the background sometimes. But more importantly, you do a lot of crazy shit, and I want to hear about that. So tell me a little bit about what the Weirdest is.
Okay, so, well, I do a live stream 5 days a week, and most of the time I'm doing something like a challenge in Fallout or Skyrim. I'm mostly doing Fallout and Skyrim right now, but I'm sort of moving away from that. But for instance, I've done a playthrough of the game where I got 0 kills in survival, and this was when they didn't have survival be a really challenging, like food, water, all that stuff. So I did it again in survival when they patched it, and that character is actually Bernie Sanders, and he goes through the game with no kills. We've done no weapons, fists, or companions. So the guy had to beat the game without fighting at all, but he still had to kill stuff, and that's interesting. Right now, there's a playthrough that's going on my YouTube channel where I'm killing literally everybody to kind of counteract my karma. And he's supposed to be Kevin Spacey from the movie Seven, and I'm just putting heads in baskets and shooting up schools, and it's a nightmare. And actually, I don't kill the cats. There's cats in the game, and I leave them alone.
You can't kill the cat.
Everybody else is dead, even people who are crucial to the game's progression. So it's like it's brutal playthrough. I have to protect people that I'm going to eventually kill. It's really gnarly.
Crazy.
So.
Oh, thank God for helping me.
Yeah, exactly. If I didn't have to blow up certain parts of the game, I would just kill them outright. But in order to get in there and then blow it up later, I have to cooperate and then protect them. And then later on, I cut their heads off and put them into boxes.
So you gotta be a little careful. Make sure you don't off somebody too soon.
Seriously, no, I've broken the game accidentally doing that.
Oh.
And having to go back to a previous save.
Yeah.
So bad. But it's fun. No, it's a great time.
God, that sounds insane. So you do this Monday through Friday? What? Tuesday through Wednesday, Saturday?
I do every day but Wednesday and Saturday, actually.
Okay.
And my weekly streams right now I was doing Skyrim and Fallout and Oblivion. And right now I'm working on a game called Cuphead, which I don't know if you know anything about, but
I've heard of it.
the fully cell animated game. Very beautiful. One of the fucking hardest games I've ever played. It's just brutal. It's so hard. I'm so bad at shmups and it's painful. So I'm working on that, and I'm probably going to do Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9 in October, as well as the new South Park game, and I think I'm going to do the new Shadow of Mordor game that's coming out. So I got a full plate for another couple of months on there. So
that's freaking awesome. So you've got your Twitch channel, which is WeirdistBuilds.
Mm-hmm. With an IST, by the way.
Yeah. So a little bit odd. Weird is spelled weird.
Yes, it's kind of it was a bad call because Google auto corrects it to WeirdEst, and so. But now I've got a Kotaku article that I get views from, so I can't change it. It's me forever now.
you have been locked in. So guys, you definitely want to head over to that and pick them up almost every day of the week, it seems like. Also, of course, you got your YouTube channel where a lot of that content and past videos do come up. If you're curious about the Kotaku noteworthy playthrough without actually killing anybody, he's got all that listed in there, and then some, a little other variables to it and whatnot. So you definitely head over to YouTube and check it out as well. And you have a SoundCloud? I didn't even know about this.
Yeah. So once upon a time, I had a crush on a girl, and I heard that she was into dudes and bands, and so I started to learn how to make music with my computer, whatever. And I got really good at it, and it was exactly as it sounded. It didn't work out at all with the girl, but what I've done now is I've taken a lot of music that I've made with FL Studio and made basically kind of nice background vocal tracks, so you can use them for voiceovers. And I've used them in my videos, but I'm probably never going to use them again because I make a new song every time I come up with a video that's going to have a background track. So I've put them up on my SoundCloud for any content creator who maybe is watching this show or is on my channel or whatever. anything that's up there that's for download is copyright free. You won't get flagged on YouTube. You can use them for your background tracks and your vocals or whatever. You can even rap to them because they're mostly rap beat style songs.
Okay.
And you don't even have to credit me at all. You can just go on there, grab them, make yourself an intro video on Twitch, make yourself a little intro thing on YouTube, do it for your voiceover acting, whatever. They're just there. The Creative Commons, they're there for the creators. They're there for you guys. So
nice. Very nice.
check them out.
Awesome.
Appreciate that.
I might even use one.
Yeah, there you go. So
Yeah.
definitely encourage you guys to check all this out. I mean, he's a small time guy. He's only got 17,000 or so on Twitch and like 18,000 on YouTube. So he's small potatoes, but
That's the good attitude to have. Always look up.
We'll bring the full force of the 60 some odd people we have in BRG following us to really bump those numbers for you. No, but seriously, I cannot thank you enough. It was an absolute treat. It was a total treat because we were going through the news, grabbing news stuff like, the Kotaku article about some dude that went through this open world called Fallout without shooting anyone. It's like, okay, that takes a lot of fucking time and balls to pull this off. And I immediately get a message from Seshaela like 5 minutes later. Dude, did you read that article? I'm like, yes. Guy goes, that's fucking so. I'm like, no.
Go ahead. Tell him.
No.
Tell him my playa name. It's fine.
Which one?
Tell him
Which one?
Mumblefuck. That's Mumblefuck.
That's Mumblefuck. And I was just like, holy shit, Snacks. I'm like, all right, I got to say hi to him next time and to give him a load of crap for this. That's, dude, you have the patience of a god to pull shit like that off.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That was actually one of the most painful playthroughs because I had no idea what the game was going to have in it. And fuck, dude, I must have made 4 attempts before I figured out that there was actually a fourth way to do it where you can do it. And I'm glad I figured it out because I was stressing.
I would not have the patience. I barely don't have patience to play the game right, let alone bend the rules. I mean, bend the rules far enough that even Bethesda takes note and goes, whoa, you can do that with this? Shit. Anyways, again, man, I cannot thank you enough for the content you put out because it is fucking hilarious. Other people who make content happen to be, weirdly enough, our very own Kirrok.
Yes.
As crazy as it is, you're still doing Twitch. You're happy with Twitch?
I am. I'm doing Twitch. I'm happy with it.
What's our current? You just started Mafia.
Mafia 3, you got it. I've had the game sitting on the desk packaged
Thank
up.
God, because watching you play, the other
one
one was making me get a headache.
For a year. Oh, yeah. That one there, I finished it, and it had such a, in my opinion, it was a weak ending, but whatever. It was fun in the middle of it.
It's a game where you jump around and swing off things. What kind of ending are you going to have with it?
It's a game. It was so good. It was, for those who don't know, it was Mirror's Edge Catalyst. First one was better, though. First one was better, in my opinion.
Enough.
Although the graphics are better in this one, obviously. But Mafia 3 is what I'm playing. I actually started streaming it yesterday. Next time I'll be streaming is Monday when this video comes out. And this is the first time, though, where I'm doing a playthrough of the game and I'm recording it simultaneously because I have permission from 2K to post it on my YouTube channel.
YouTube. Awesome.
Yes, I am. So this one I have full plans to do. I got to make a nice intro as we were talking about offline, and I might use maybe one of your background songs there, Weirdest. We'll see. I'll listen to a few of them. That'd be awesome.
Hey, you know what? If you wanted me to make you a custom one, all you got to do is ask.
Are you serious? Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
Okay.
I could do a Kirrok special that nobody else can use.
That is awesome. I'm gonna turn red now.
How's Project Singularity doing?
Project Singularity is good. We haven't really gotten together in the last little bit. Basically, I'm a part of another group of gamers, Project Singularity. We try to get together at least once a week where we play a game, do something.
And it's either everybody gets together, not Kirrok, or Kirrok gets together with Walls.
Yeah,
and nobody
it
else
usually
is
ends
there.
up that way. Like this week, it's been on the cycle where I'm working when we are supposed to get together. And then other weeks, usually when it's the evening games, I'm at home and I can participate.
Gotcha.
We rotate it. 1 week we do like morning meetings, or not meetings, but get together and play.
Yep.
And another week we do evenings, so we give the guys on the other side of the pond a chance to participate.
Which is very kind of you. You guys do have a pretty good plethora of people across the world, which is nice. I myself, guys, of course, am not nearly active in my gaming world right now. I just haven't had the time to. I apologize. I do, however, have some content up on my Moto vlog channel, so please head over there and check that out. And I have a good list. I got another vlog to put up. I got a couple more ride videos, some really beautiful areas I've ridden in, and I've got a slew of clips I've got to get at some point of people being dumbasses on the road. So look forward to those. And of course, you should also look forward to going over to BobRocketGaming.com and checking us out, because we're a bunch of lovely fuckers that love to have fun. BobRocketGaming.com, you guys should know this by now. Definitely check that out. Again, we also have a Discord channel you can go over to and say hi to us. And of course, we also have YouTube. You're here. Please feel free to subscribe if you'd like. We'd love to see more people join us every day or every week and whatnot. We do have more content coming down the pipe. Just so you guys know, we did just have our fourth quarter open house, or sorry,
Town
hall. Thank you. Town hall meeting where we get baby up to speed. It's an open thing they can come to and find out what our plans are, what's going on. We've got a bunch of new shows that are in the works and getting fleshed out and finalized. We can start doing new shows, including something on Twitch, more stuff on YouTube, etc. So look forward to all of that. And you can catch all that content either here on our YouTube channel or on our Twitch channel. Which, again, I need to remind you guys, the Twitch channel is upwards of, 88 followers now. We've got 63 on the YouTube, so we need to really step this up a little bit here, guys, because I love you bunches, but we got to beat the live streamers. I'm sorry, we just really do. So help us out here. Help us out by giving us a sub, giving us a like, leaving a comment, shouting out to the world who we are. We always appreciate it. You can tell us we're to fuckwits. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Honesty and honesty and advertisement is always a good thing.
That's what YouTube is for, after all.
It
It's calling
really
everybody
is.
fuckwits.
Yep.
Call everybody fuckwits. I mean, it's just what you do. And of course, last but not least, most importantly, we do have our Patreon account. Any money goes to that Patreon account is used internally to help promote and help out everybody in the community. So if you're part of the community and you're short a game that we're going to be playing, or we have an event we want to do and do some giveaways, etc., that's where that money goes. It's 100% back into the community that we support. So we appreciate that. So thank you so very much. And Weirdest, my God, man, I had a fabulous time.
Me too.
I'm a little pissed we haven't actually connected and talked a lot sooner, because this has been an absolute fucking blast. We'd love to have you back sometime. I mean, there's a slew of things we talked about in between the takes that we could easily bring up as main topics and wax poetic about, or just go off on a tangent about, whatever the case may be.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'd love to come back. Absolutely. You guys are fantastic, and you do something that I don't do, which is keep up with what's going on now.
It's a hobby.
And I've probably learned more about the gaming world today than I have in the last month. So
every once in a while, if you can't poke your head out to look around, we can forcibly grab you by the shoulders and wait. This could go a really bad direction.
Just don't overextend that metaphor, baby. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey, I give my O face. Oh my God, we're running way too long. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.